right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 41 Indian who'd rather travel thousands of kilometers with only one aim, and that was to provide a decent living for their near and dear ones back home. They have been charred to death yesterday when a deadly fire swept through a building that housed them in Kuwait. The fire that engulfed the building in the southern Mangav district not only killed 41 Indians, primarily all of those who were breadwinners, but also scarred 41 families for the rest of their lives. Mincing no words, the Kuwaiti government Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Fahad Al-Yusuf Al-Sabah cited in black and white that the real estate owners' greed led to this terrible tragedy. Listen in.
باكر القوى العامله راح تشتغل هم عليها تكدس العماله، انا الحين بشوف شنو موجود المخالفه هني، وصاحب العقار هذا راح اتحفظ عليه انا لما اشوف تكدس العماله وهماله.
In fact, just minutes after landing back in the capital after attending the swearing-in ceremony of Chandrababu Naidu in Andhra Pradesh and Mohan Charan Manjhi in Odisha, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself chaired a meeting to discuss the Kuwait fire incident. The Prime Minister expressed his deep sorrow at the incident and extended condolences to the families of the deceased. The PM also announced ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the families of the deceased, that is the Indian nationals, from Prime Minister Relief Fund. The centre has also dispatched the newly elected MOSMEA Kirti Vardhan Singh to Kuwait to oversee and assist those injured in the fire tragedy, and also to coordinate with the local authorities for early repatriation of the mortal remains of those who have died in the unfortunate incident. MOSMEA Kirti Vardhan Singh has already left for Kuwait to assess the ground situation.
We had a meeting last night with the Honorable Prime Minister, and that's the last update we have about this very sad tragedy. And the rest of the situation will be cleared the moment we reach there. Situation is that the victims are mostly burn victims, and some of the bodies have been charred beyond recognition. So a DNA test is underway to identify the victim, and the Air Force plane is on the ready. And as soon as the bodies are identified, their kin will be informed, and our Air Force plane will bring the bodies. So the casualty figures are around 48, 49, out of which 42 or 43 are believed to be our countrymen Indians.
All right, we are now being joined by my colleague Rishabh. He's joining us with more updates on this big story. We're also being joined by Mr. Sunot from Kuwait, I believe. I'll first go to Rishabh for more details on this big story. Rishabh, first talking about the steps which have been taken by the Indian government. MOSMEA already dispatched. The Prime Minister also has held an emergency meeting on the situation in Kuwait. Give us more details on really how the Indian government is trying to help the families of those and those also who have been injured in that Kuwait tragedy.
Well, Meenakshi, if we talk about the government of India has acted swiftly. Not only it has dispatched the MOSMEA Kirti Vardhan Singh, who is already en route Kuwait City and would be landing anytime shortly now, and he will be on ground assessing the assistance that is being given to the victims, people who are injured and also people who died because of this tragic fire incident. Apart from that, at the high-level meeting yesterday, Prime Minister of India took stock of what the situation is and how the further course of action would be. With an immediate relief, Prime Minister has also announced 2 lakh Indian rupees ex gratia for people who have died in this incident. Having said that, what now we know that the MOSMEA will reach Kuwait, and as per MOSMEA, there are certain mortal remains which cannot be physically verified or identified, given that the degree of burn that they have sustained because of this fire tragedy, and hence DNA profiling, DNA testing is important. Only after that the mortal remains can be brought back to India. As per sources in Air Force, the Indian Air Force is ready, and the moment MEA requests Indian Air Force with the requirement of an aircraft, Air Force would be providing that. The category of aircraft is yet not decided, given that the amount of requirement that MEA will give, depending on that, whether it will be Glowmaster C-17 or will it be
All right.
C-130 or for that matter IL-76 that will be decided.
Absolutely, and that's the big update which you are bringing us also, Rishabh, that our Indian Air Force is ready. Even though, of course, the exact category of the craft which could be used to bring back the mortal remains, that's yet to be decided. Stay with us, Rishabh. We also have Mr. Sunoj, as I said earlier. He's the editor of a portal called Indians in Kuwait. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Obviously, it's a terrible tragedy. Our heart goes out to the families. Many of them, obviously, 41 Indians have also perished in that blaze. Give us the latest as far as the ground situation is concerned. How many injured? What's their condition like? What more do you know?
Well, as of now, we have identified 42 Indians among the 49 people who are died. And as I told, like some bodies are still yet to be identified. And majority of them are from Kerala, the state of Kerala. This is what the latest update is.
All right. And are you in touch with those, who have been injured, perhaps who are admitted in the hospital? Have they themselves narrated the sequence of events to you? What is it that, they are telling you?
Yes, most of them were on sleeping. They were on the room after the night shift.
Yes.
And they were sleeping. And most of them wake up to the smoke. So there is no chance for them to escape from the place.
All right. So they are telling you that they were fast asleep and, when this fire incident happened, they didn't get a chance to escape. The Kuwaiti government also is probing the incident. Since you are there in Kuwait, you're also, of course, handling a portal of Indians in Kuwait. Tell us, the steps which have been taken by the Kuwaiti government, not just when we speak of the probe, but also to help the families, helpline numbers, etc., which have been, launched efforts which are being done by the government there.
Yes. Even the Indian embassy in Kuwait also put one helpline, and almost all the bodies are already identified. Except that few bodies which is not yet to be identified, and they are all kept in the mortuary near the airport. And most probably that repatriation will happen as early as possible.
Okay. All right. Okay, those are some very important.
And the government is already. The government already took some initiatives. Yesterday, they even started investigation in some other building, similar building, to remove all the violations. They are very strict on the violations now.
Right. So the government, of course, they're very strict on the violations, and that's something which is being probed at the moment. Why don't you stay with us, sir? Because, we're also telling our viewers about the number of casualties. Just as Sunoj was also telling us, a large number of casualties are reported from Kerala. Pinarayi Vijayan, who is the Chief Minister of the state, has also written a letter to the External Affairs Minister S. Shankar. He sought the centre's intervention in the tragedy. He asserted that the Indian Embassy in Kuwait should coordinate relief and rescue operations by contacting the government of Kuwait. S. Shankar has also spoken to the Kuwaiti counterpart, and he was apprised of the efforts which have been made by the Kuwaiti authorities in this regard.
यहाँ पे जो 4 हॉस्पिटल हैं, अदान हॉस्पिटल, मुबारक अल कबीर हॉस्पिटल, जहरा हॉस्पिटल और फरवानी हॉस्पिटल, जहाँ पे चारों जगह पे सभी पेशेंट को भेजा गया है, जहाँ वैकेंसी बना के गवर्नमेंट पूरी तरह से ख्याल कर रही है। हॉस्पिटल में बहुत अच्छी फैसिलिटी है, बहुत अच्छे से इंतज़ाम हो रहा है उनका, और इसके साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे उनके रिलेटिव भी आ रहे हैं, कंपनी वाले भी आ रहे हैं देखने के लिए। मॉर्निंग में हमारे एम्बेसडर भी आए थे, वो देख के गए हुए हैं। ये कितने बजे हादसा हुआ था भाई?
और 4:30 बजे से।
4:30 बजे। फिर आपने कैसे बचे आप?
हम तो सुबह आदमी लोग जो हल्ला कर रहा था रोड पे, इसलिए हम जागा। बाद में हम लोग शीशे खोल के बाद में वो जंप नहीं किया। हाँ। वो केबल तार था, उसमें बांध के। अच्छा, केबल तार। अच्छा, केबल तार से बाहर नीचे उतरे। ओहो, वो 3 आदमी जैसे उतरा उसको। अच्छा, 4 आदमी जैसे। अच्छा। और दूसरा रूम का आदमी इधर आके उतरा।